Okay, first things first, we're going to discuss post-isometric relaxation, okay, which is consisted of a very specific protocol. We can call post-isometric relaxation PIR for short. Okay, so I'm going to be doing the PIR technique on hamstrings as well as the quadriceps. So starting with the hamstrings, these are our target muscle. They're the muscles that we want to stretch and lengthen. All right, so we're first going to assess the range of motion of our hamstring groups by doing passive range of motion. So supporting your client's leg at the ankle here. Okay, we're going to bring the hip right into flexion, right, while staying with knee extension, right, stretching, right, and lengthening our hamstrings. Okay, so we're just assessing this range of motion. When we get to this first barrier, right, so the first stopping point where it feels like the muscle is very taut and, lengthened to its, longest state, right? That's where you're gonna stop. So assessing range of motion, bringing it to this first barrier, okay? So we have a lot of room to work with here. So what you're gonna do is just back off slightly and then have your client contract the hamstrings down into your hand by offering resistance, and with only 10% of their total strength. So it's a very light isometric. So for 8 seconds, Nick, I'm gonna have you contract your hamstrings, right? Push your leg down into my hand and do it a little bit lighter. So it's a nice and gentle isometric contraction. We're gonna hold that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Okay, so after 8 to 12 seconds, right, client relaxes the hamstrings and now we stretch this muscle further. Okay, finding a new barrier. So now we've gained a few degrees range of motion, right, in the hip joint. So now I'm again back off slightly. Go ahead and contract again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Okay, relax. Now we're going to stretch the hamstrings. Even more. So now we've got almost a 90-degree angle here, right? I'm able to push on that. So that's 2 times. So now for 3, right? Go ahead, back up slightly. Go ahead and push into my hand. So he's contracting through the hip, through the knee. 6, 7, 8, and relax. Okay. Taking it into a nice deep stretch. So you can do this 3 to 5 times, right? And so you can see we've gained range of motion. We've got the hamstrings nice and lengthened. So let's do it one more time so you can get any more. Go ahead, Nick, and contract. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, some nice light isometric, so relax. Okay, and we're gonna find a nice stretch, right? Here comes Willie. And whenever you finish, you're gonna wanna hold that stretch for 30 seconds. So after 3, 4, or 5 times of doing contracting and relaxing, right, you're gonna hold that stretch for 30 seconds so it's in this nice lengthened state. All right, and now we have a new resting position for his left hamstring group, right? Because we've contracted it, relaxed it, and stretched it, and now it has gained range of motion within that group. Okay, and so we could do the same thing for the left side. Let's do a little bit quicker. All right, so again, we're assessing range of motion with passive movement. Okay, so again, barriers about right here. So I'm gonna back off slightly. Go ahead, Nick, contract about 10% of your total strength. Right, so a nice light isometric, knee extension, hip flexion. Go ahead and relax, keeping that knee straight. If you need to, you can use your shoulder and get up on the table and use your shoulder as leverage. Okay, So finding that next barrier, we're gonna back off. Go ahead and contract, right, your hamstrings down into my resistance. 8 seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Right, and then we're gonna take that stretch further. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Back off slightly, go ahead and contract. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. And so that's about our third time. So we're gonna take it into a nice 30-second stretch. Right, knees extended, hip is flexed. We're stretching our hamstrings. Right, lengthening them from both ends. We're gonna hold that for 30 seconds. That can also be 3 deep breaths. 3 to 5 deep breaths, so you can ask your client to breathe. And so the whole time you're assisting them, right, during the stretch, and you're also providing the resistance, right, whether that's with your shoulder or with your hand, right? And it is helpful to kind of move the client, right, and ask them and demonstrate to them what it feels like to push down. So when you ask them to activate those hamstrings, right, you have them kind of push down. You want them to feel that pressure moving in their leg down like that. And then here comes your resistance, right? That's when you're pushing up and creating this isometric contraction, right, between client's energy and your own resistance here. So it's helpful to demonstrate that motion with them, right? If it can get confusing with the legs. So now we'll have you flip over, okay, and we'll do the quadriceps. So have your client turn prone. Do you want me to adjust this?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So with quadriceps, same technique for post-isometric relaxation, right? We're trying to stretch the quadriceps, right, which are in our opposite of our hamstrings. So now we're going to take the knee into flexion, right? Hip is an extension. And so we're assessing the range of motion of our quadriceps. Right, quadriceps, the job, right, is to extend the knee. So that's how you would contract this muscle. But now we want to lengthen it. We want to stretch it. So assessing our range of motion passively, we're going to come to this first barrier. Okay, we're going to back off slightly. And then Nick, you're going to press into my hand by kicking your leg, right, and activating those quads with knee extension. Okay, so for 10% resistance, go ahead and contract for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now relax. Okay, now we're gonna bring the quads into a deeper stretch. Okay, hopefully gaining some range of motion there. Right, so the foot is not quite to the hip yet, right? So we do have some distance, right? If his flexibility allows it. So I'm gonna back off of that second barrier. Go ahead and again activate. So again, the power is coming from the quadriceps, right? By knee extension. So if they're compensating with their foot at all, right, by doing like dorsiflexion, right, you want to maybe inhibit that by adding the resistance here at the leg. Okay, so go ahead and relax, Nick. And we're gonna take that quad into more of a nice stretch. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's do it one more time. So third time's the charm. Backing off of the third barrier, go ahead and extend the leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. And now we're just gonna take that quad into a nice deep stretch. All right, so we did gain some range of motion here between the hip and the foot, right, stretching those quadriceps. And you're going to hold that final stretch for 30 seconds. So I have really bad posture here. All right, we'll now correct that. All right, so again, we're activating the muscle we're trying to stretch. Okay. Let's pause it here.